You may have heard in the news that a pretty big game came out recently. Cyberpunk or something like that. But regardless, it came out. My computer is very, very old, so I thought probably can't play that. And if I could, I'm broke. So, ooh. Um, but then I remembered I have already got the perfect Cyberpunk game installed on my computer. So I thought I'd give that a quick let's play, see how all this stuff works. I've had a bit of creative block, and I think maybe this is a decent way of getting through it. So it's a game I've played before. It's a game that's very close to my heart. On Steam, I've got hundreds of hours into it. So let's see how it goes. Bear with for any problems and stuff.
Duck, duck, goose found a pussy in a dollar bin. Guess you forgot.
So, Shadowrun Hong Kong Extended Edition is from the Shadowrun Return series. It comes from basically there's this old tabletop role-playing game similar in sort of vein to where Cyberpunk came from. This Shadowrun came out around the same time. I have a very similar video on it if you want to watch it. Yeah, and Shadowrun Hong Kong Extended Edition is the most recent version from Harebrained Schemes. I really, really like the game. It's a bit old, but it's not too old. It feels somewhat dated in its mechanics, but that's only because it's based in sort of like a top-down RPG era and world. But I think I'll just jump straight into it, and hopefully I can explain things as we go, and you can see what you think about the game. So, new game. So you can get different mod packs and stuff. This one's an official one that came from the developers, and that is just the base game, and that's a mod I installed. The mods are iffy, but you could probably, I could probably try and find something good if there was interest in it. I'm going to pick normal because I'm not very good at video games. My computer is bad, so bear with, it might take a bit to load up. I'm going to pick a human. There are obviously the standard sort of 5 fantasy races. So you've got your humans, your elves, your dwarves, your orcs, and your trolls. Which you may be thinking, now hold on, this is a cyberpunk game, right? Like, what's going on with the elves and the dwarves and that? Well, the thing about Shadowrun is that it tries to synthesize these two disparate genres, which I really like. I really like how they do that, and I really like attempts to do that. Basically, the way that this works is that before the cyberpunk era started and slightly after our time now, you had a magical awakening, and that caused magical powers to sort of crop up through the birth of newborn children, and just through like natural ley lines and stuff. And that caused some sort of mutations in the human genome, which caused the elves and the dwarves, and then sometime later you had what was called the orcification, which caused the orcs and the trolls. Now it feels a bit weird to have like this like really high fantasy mixed in with this really high science fiction, but I think that allows them to make some like really interesting sort of metaphors with it. Like as we will see potentially through the game, a lot of the big CEOs are not like metaphorically dragons, they are literally dragons, and I think that that's quite a cool. The image is allowed to sort of represent itself, and I think that's quite a cool little thing that this game allows itself to do. But I always take forever on character creators, so I'm just going to jump right into it. I'll probably pick a mage because that's not what I've done recently. Now, statistically, the best mages are dwarves, and the worst, I think, are trolls. Oh no. Magic is based on willpower, so maybe I will pick. I'll be a dwarf mage. Now, mages are one thing that they aren't allowed. Is one of the things in this game is there's the feeling of losing part of your magical essence when you have parts of your body replaced with cyberware, augmentations, or so mages don't get to partake in that particularly often, but as the trade-off they get a whole bunch of spells, which I think is a nice way of combating that they're a common thread in sort of RPGs where basically sword fighters just get more sword fightier, and mages get like exponentially more interesting. And I think that, for example, if I pick Street Samurai, I still have options in my packet for making me more cool and better at the game. So that's cool. I like that. And I like that mages can't just do everything. So there's a mage there. If I'm a dwarf, I get more willpower max, which is good. But you don't have to max out in order to actually be successful at all. So I'm going to pick a dwarf there. I think I'm going to go for some sort of like battle magey type. So they're different attributes. Basically, body is health, quickness is range damage, strength is physical damage, intelligence is for decking, which is the hacking minigame and sort of like a roguey type thing. Drone control, which is like your one version of pets in this game. Willpower, which is where I'm going to go, which is magic. And charisma, which is, as you would expect, talking skills, but also summoning spirits temporarily and using conjuring magics, so like traps and what have you. So, having said that, I said I was going to focus on battle mage type stuff, but charisma is always nice to have. So I'm going to pick the etiquette of who is this man? Who is the person I'm creating? Corporate security gang socialite, Shadowrunner academic. Oh, why don't we just go Shadowrunner? That means I've been running in these shadows for quite a while. I know them fairly well, and hopefully that opens up specific dialogue options for me, which is, I think, again, this is quite a cool mechanic. So I should get 2 etiquettes. The next one I'm going to get to pick, I think, when this is over. Wisdom, I need some spellcasting buffs. Dragon lines, where it says dragon lines visible through fog of war. Dragon lines are essentially like these locuses of power that if you stand on, it increases your spells and what have you. I do need a bit of strength there, so pump some here, and then also into close combat, and then melee weapons, and I leave body at 3. Not great, but I can always pump it up later and buy armor. So I've split my attributes quite a bit, which is fine. Shadowrun lets you do that to a certain extent. I've gone a bit deep into strength, so that's what, 7. I'm not going to bother counting them all up, waste of time. But you can see how I've done the splits there, and then charisma just for the etiquettes. Yeah, there we go. There's another one. So this is a bit weird because you end up having to pick your etiquettes before you know what the story of your character even is. But you can sort of mesh them in afterwards. But given that I know I've played this before, so I know where we end up starting, I think I can make a decent shout at. I'm going to go with probably gang or no, security. I like the idea of being like a security guard that had to fall or go sinless. First name, Herman. Oh, Van der Trop. Street name, Trop Dead Gorgeous. There we go. Now that's a bit silly. No, let's keep it. Let's keep it. Trop Dead Gorgeous, like that. Okay, so I'll be quiet for the cutscene because the cutscenes of this tend to be quite good.
You have one new message.
Hi. It's Raymond. I hope I have the right number. Look, I know we haven't spoken in a while, but I need your help. Remember the day I took you and Duncan off the streets? I told you that the past is just a story, that if you can just accept that, your past loses all power over you. Yeah. I was wrong. I'm on my way to Hong Kong now, to finish something I should have faced a long time ago. And I need you with me. I know we're not blood, and we didn't leave things in a good place, but You and Duncan are the only real family I have. Please, if our past means anything to you, meet me in Hong Kong right away. I'll explain more when you get here. I'm begging you. I'm almost out of time.
And that's the opening cutscene. Pretty decent foreshadowing going on there. This music is beautiful. What I like about this game is it gives you some pretty strong sort of like adventuring hooks, but also allows you to build yourself around that. And I think a lot of games stumble with that a bit. This will pass quickly. Raymond Black, the old man who gave you home once, took you and Duncan off the gang-ridden streets of the Baron, sheltered, that's in Seattle, for what it's worth, sheltered, educated, slapped some sense into you both until you almost resembled productive members of society. And then you took off, left it all behind. Landed behind bars for a time, tried to start a new life after that. It's been 8 years since you've heard Raven's voice. Until, out of the blue, you got this cryptic message, a plea for help. Meet me in Hong Kong, right away. And wired to your account, enough new yen, that's money, to pay for the flight and then some. The descent's rough. A squall comes out of nowhere, sending a solid sheet of rain punching into the suborbital transport. With a raging shudder, the plane finally skids to a halt at the edge of Chek Lap Kok tarmac. An hour and an interminable number of emotionless security checkpoints later, you'll hail a water taxi to Victoria Harbour. Hong Kong looms ahead, pulsing with energy. Let's see where we go with this. Hong Kong, Victoria Harbour, August 2056, monsoon season. You step from the churning of the water taxi to the ponderous rocking of the docks, your stomach lurching at the transition. As soon as you're clear, the captain nods once and steers the small craft back into the harbour. The man never said a word, just handed you a worn brown duffel bag when you stepped on board and filled with gear, some stiff new body armour and a note. Better safe than sorry. D. Above, smog-thick clouds hang low in the sky, reflecting the lights of the city in a nauseating swirl. The wind changes direction more than once, creating a heady stew of aromas: diesel, sea salt, street food, and filth. It's all you can do to keep your in-flight meal where it belongs. Two figures stand waiting in the dim light of the pier. The first is an orc, lean with in-your-face muscles and a jaw made to break fists. The second is an elf, one hand resting casually against her hip. Raymond Black is nowhere to be seen. Well, don't you look like shit? Duncan Wu, the closest thing you have to a brother. You haven't seen this man in 8 years. Still as charming as ever. He grins. Green's not really your colour, Herman. Doesn't go with that nice new armour I got you. As you open your mouth to respond, something shifts alarmingly in your stomach. A liquid bubbling sensation. I didn't pick a portrait. Oh no. Oh well. Oh well, oh well. So as you can see here, this is how the skill checks check out. I have a body of 3, so I'm able to hold down my lunge. Don't know what you're talking about. Must be the harbour lights messing with you. Must be. Glad you got glad you still got some of your old fortitude at least. He laughs. Considering how much synthol we used to put down, I'd be surprised if you couldn't handle a little chop. Anyway, we've got to find Raymond. Find Raymond? I thought he'd be here. Never showed up. He's still got that same baritone rasp. Had it since he was 12. Wu developed early. That's a thing with orcs in this world. They mature faster. Did you try him a comment? No clue where he might be. When was the last time you saw him? No sense standing around then. Where's the meeting place? Yeah, let's be a take action sort of guy. Not far, just the other side of the pier here. He jabs a thumb behind him. The woman standing beside him breaks in. We should get going, Duncan. Head back to the meeting point in case your dad shows up. Copy that, Sarge. They're wearing Lone Star body armor. Looks like Duncan Wu's gone private police. You his partner? Unfortunately, yes, although partner's not the right word for it exactly. I like superior officer better. I let him carry my coffee for me, write my parking tickets, that kind of thing. The woman taps her chest with an armored finger. Carter. I figured I could use some backup. Didn't know what Raid got himself into, and I wasn't sure you were going to show up. It's a tossed off remark, but there's an undercurrent of resentment in it. You got something you want to say? Nope. He shakes his head. Hey, look, I'm glad you're here, Herman. Seriously, but I'm going to need some time to get used to having you around again. Been a while since I heard from you, know what I mean? Memories of sleepless nights and lockup flash by. Wondering if you'd ever see Duncan or Raymond ever again. Wondering if you'd even want to. And then stepping into the daylight, suddenly free, the fallout of some obscure corporate restructuring. A few hundred new yen worth of apology from your former jailers and a decision to start a new life. To leave the past behind. All of it. Until now. I know I've been at it's the moments like this where you get to establish your character, which I think are quite cool. I know I've been out of touch. Yeah, we'll talk about it later. Okay, I have my reasons. Can we leave it at that for now? I think that's the suitable mix of standoffish arsehole and genuinely trying to reconnect with his brother. He stares at you, his goggles reflecting the harbour lights. Sure. He scans the waterfront, frowning. Let's just find Raymond. He's supposed to meet us in the plaza on the other side of this pier. The sooner we find him, the sooner you can all have a big happy family reunion over dinner, Carter grins. And the sooner I can find a place to drink around here. Damn right. Ahead of you, Hong Kong rises serpent-like from the sea. Government and megacorp call together, writhing in their basket of institutionalized corruption. No one can tell where the snake's body ends and its tail begins. That's what Raymond used to say. Duncan turns and starts down the pier. Carter follows. Top down, isometric RPGs. Big fan. You spend the whole game holding down Alt so you could do things like this. Fresh construction is expanding the harbour and the water. Corporate interest can afford to create new streets. Yeah, this is I think this is a really, really good cyberpunk world and how it represents the excesses of unregulated capitalism. But you know, that's just me. Or rather, unregulated corporate interest, anyway. Huh. Well, that was open earlier. Duncan frowns. Looks pretty solid. Maybe if you bang your head against it hard enough, it'll open. Ha. Maybe. He squints into the guard shack. Strange that there's no one here, though, isn't it? Carter shrugs. Who knows? It's Hong Kong. Not exactly sure how things work around here. Come on, rookie. We can cut through the construction site. I hate it when you call me that. Teehee. This game is funny. So this is just, you know, very cut. Those are the ley lines I was talking about earlier. In this game, they're called dragon lines, but that's just because it's Asiatic themed. The gate is locked, but the nearby control panel appears accessible. Carter pulls it open with a metallic screech that pierces your skull, sending a new wave of pain down to your churning stomach. Jeez. She examines the control panel for a moment, then throws Wu a backward glance. Looks like there's another way off the docks on the other side of this gate. I think I can bypass the lock. Let me take a crack at that. I'm not smart enough. Stand aside and let it work. Or hang on, let me poke around a little first. I think I might fuck it up if I do that, so stand aside and let it work. Carter fiddles his wires and the door hisses open. Good job. Carter. Got it, let's go. I feel like she's going to be our intelligent decker-y type for this game. Oh. Almost like it was telegraphed by the ley lines. More Cantonese too quick to catch. The group in the dock was packaged out of the speedboat when you surprised them. Now the package at the bottom of the bay and the speedboat is disappearing into the distance. They close on you, red-faced and yelling. The light of the harbour glints off the weapons as they approach. We just ambushed a business deal. The leader shouts something in Cantonese, but it's too fast to make out. You're rusty. It's been years since Raymond's house and the language lessons that would never end. The old man never smoked anything but his native language at home. Ru speaks with authority. His Cantonese is still as solid as ever. He never let it drop. You guys doing some late night fishing? Oh, skip that. Smuggler being RC probably. You're going to need some better bait, or you're going to catch with that as trouble. Whisper to Duncan. Seriously, did you spend a lot of cop school? We're just passing through now, you better get away. Lone Star, lay down your weapons. Let's just go with, yeah, authoritative. You talk Cantonese good, baby. Real authentic. Actually, you just told me to screw my light bulb out. So something tells me you're not a cop, or you're a cop from UCAS and you've got no jurisdiction here. He grasps his rifle. Either way, this ends the same. Uh-oh. I think he's done talking. Now let's fight. Turn-based combat. Yeah, we know how turn-based combat works. So as a mage, I have a little power bolt, but then I also have I started with some strength, so I've got a little machete as well, and then I've also got mana bolt. So just to illustrate how these things work, I'm going to run into the ley line there, take some cover. Duncan is a standard street samurai-esque shooty man, and he's going to do what the shooting man does and shoot. 50 crit, nope. Carter looks like she's also a mage, magey type, mage decker or something, I suppose. Hannibal. It'd be good if we can get that, but we're a bit too far away for it right now. So let's just take cover here and then chuck out a aim for Wu. What just happened there with Wu is his AP went below 2, so he's stunned essentially, which makes me buffing him a little bit annoying. Okay, so I'm standing on this ley line here, so that I'm standing on the ley line here, so that should mean my attack will bounce. Hey, it did. Sick. And then we want to heal myself up. The heals in this game heal your most recent attack, which is sometimes a pain in the ass, but good thing they're all bunched up. And then cover intervening. So that's still a 70. That missed. Got one of them. And he's healed up. Fuck. Yeah, he's because he's stunned, he's now out of cover, which means every attack is much more likely to be a critical. But doing alright. Doing alright. One more. Shit. Chuck out a powerball, why don't we? Hey, ooh, I've never seen that before. Wow. Okay, check out a grenade. Or, Ah, shit. Body blow this guy, hopefully we can stun him out. No. Ooh, pretty good. So heal up Duncan with our first move. And then... yeah, sick. Shh. Oh, my main character's not doing too well. Let's see if I can't. Yeah, buddy. Then leaving yourself in the open on low HP probably isn't the one. So back to cover. Chuck out a granata. One of them gone. One more mana ball. See how we go. Shit. Can we run up and get him? No. So I think that calls for... this should end it, I hope. Hey, there we go. You think those guys were Triad? Not sure. I don't recognize their tattoos. Moving into the next portion. Hit this. Ooh. Blue. Ooh, blue. Blue. Taco. Illegal street drug made from lead kamikaze formula. Makes you stronger. Okay, we'll keep it. If you don't use it, we'll sell it. I could be exploring more. I'm not though. Another gate panel. This one's been vandalized and busted up good. A real nightmare of a repair job. Blue stairs, the fence considering. Loops on walls of razor wire glitter in the lamplight. Looks edges with monofilament. The corporations here don't screw around. Duncan and I have fought plenty of fences before. It'll be fine. I'm dumb. Probably not that dumb. Why don't we just cut ourselves an opening? No. Guess we better find another way through, I guess. Cut ourselves an opening. Even if you could, it'd snap back on you. Ever seen a high tension wire rip through a human body? You don't want to. Ooh. We aren't touching it. How about it, Carter? Think you can get the gate up? What do you think? She winks at him. That'll take me a few minutes, though. Frowning, she leans in to get a closer look at the mangled fuse box. A few seconds later, she starts pulling on wires and yanking fuses, a look of intense concentration on her face. Now, I thought she was a mage is an interesting thing that this game is revealing to you fairly early on, that there is a dichotomy between the two disciplines. In Cantonese, Herman. He sounds like Raymond when he does that. What's with the lecture woo? The pen of my aunt is sitting on the end table, satisfied? She's competent. I thought she was a mage. I'm going to go with what's with the lecture woo. His face is impassive. I could tell you couldn't follow everything those smugglers were shouting. You're rusty and that's dangerous. Only Cantonese from now on. Just like when we lived at Raymond's house. Those endless drills are about to pay off. Fine, it's Ray's mother tongue from here on out. It's coming back, won't be a problem. The pen of my aunt is sitting on the end table, satisfied. I think I'll go with it's coming back, won't be a problem. He nods once, satisfied, and turns his back, scans the horizon. At least you can still handle yourself in a fight. Did you doubt it? His back still to you. Nope. Something tells me you don't like me very much. Silence between you gets louder, heavier. It's broken with a sudden wailing screech, whose hand goes to his holster. The screech is replaced by the sound of grinding wheels. Glancing over to the console, you see Carter grinning back at you. Got it. She gets it open, and I believe with that, I'm going to stop just for right now. 25 minutes. Wow. Character customization takes a long time, and potentially I'm speaking too much. If people are adverse to that, if they want to see things change a little bit, please just leave me a comment. I know that sometimes if you see a Let's Play that you don't particularly vibe with, you're more inclined to just move on. But if it would really help me out to know what is like working for people, to know how I could do this better in future. Just because my essay sort of style videos are really, really, really good fun to make, but I've been so bogged down with shit and it's making me a bit rusty with all this stuff and I just don't have the creative drive. So if you enjoyed this, comment, subscribe, like, share, you know, all the things that a YouTuber is supposed to tell you to go and do. Yeah, but I think particularly do let me know if I'm talking too much over cutscene stuff and you could just read it. Or if this game's just not good and you want me to play something else. Yeah, just let me know and we'll see what comes of it. But as for right now, I'm going to pause the game, log off, and then hopefully play some time later. I can record a few bits. I want these episodes to be a bit shorter. I just thought maybe the introduction to this one could be a bit more sizable, maybe. But yes, to that point, it's been lovely playing this game and talking to people who will hopefully appreciate it. And I hope you have a wonderful Christmas. Might see you before then, might not, but yeah, I hope it's a good time. Thank you very much, and goodbye.
Waiting for the time to pass me by. Ranging in my sentimental mind.